If you've been following us for a while, you know we try and test new dash cams quite often. Recently, you saw we used the Torvo TD3, sitting at a price point under $100. On the other hand, we have been using the Thinkware ARC 700, which sits under the $300 mark. Now, Thinkware is a name that usually brings something a bit more refined to the table, but we wanted to find out if that jump in price, specifically for that Sony Starvis sensor, is actually worth it for the average driver. We went into this a little skeptical, curious to see how a value king holds up against an established mid-range player. Let's find out. Starting with the interface, the difference is immediate. The Torvo TD3 features a 3.2-inch IPS LCD on the back, which gives us a live preview and makes navigating the menus via tactile buttons fairly straightforward. While the Torvo relies on these physical buttons right beneath the screen, the Thinkware ARC 700 takes a completely different approach. It doesn't have a screen at all. Instead, the ARC 700 focuses on a set-it-and-forget-it stealth design that hides perfectly behind the rearview mirror, requiring us to use the Dashcam Link app over 5 GHz Wi-Fi for any adjustments or footage review. Even the build philosophy shows a contrast in priorities. The Torvo feels well-balanced and solid in the hand, but it's definitely a more gadget-forward design. While the Torvo's screen is great for quick checks without a phone, the ARC 700's lack of a display means it's less of a distraction while driving. Interestingly, both units move away from unreliable lithium batteries. Both use a supercapacitor for heat resistance and are built with the same focus on long-term reliability. It's a classic trade-off. Do you want the onboard screen of the Torvo or the invisible, app-centric footprint of the Thinkware? Installing both units is pretty much what we've come to expect. For the Torvo TD3, we mounted it using an adhesive bracket and tucked the cables into the headliner, a process that took maybe a few minutes. While the ARC 700 follows the same routine, though its smaller profile makes it a bit easier to find that perfect horizon line. To get the full set of parking features on both, we had to go with a hardwired setup. However, we noticed a big gap in how they handle that power once the car is off. For the Torvo TD3, we used a hardwiring kit to get it up and running for 24-hour monitoring, which is a standard process of tapping into the fuse box. Compared to that, the Thinkware ARC 700 features a bit more of an advanced power management system. But beside that usual and optional hardwiring cable accessory, you can also get this feature by using the optional Thinkware OBD2 cable accessory. We think that the OBD2 option is a huge plus if you want to avoid messing with your fuses, but both cameras ultimately need that dedicated power to unlock their full potential. Now, let's talk about the footage, because this is where the Sony Starvis debate really lives. Both cameras record in true 4K at the front, but the hardware behind those pixels is very different. The Torvo TD3 uses a non-Sony sensor with WDR to balance light and shadows. While the Torvo's daytime footage looks sharp and natural, it lacks a 60 FPS option, and to be honest, asking for a Sony sensor at a sub-$100 price point would be totally absurd. Compared to that, the Thinkware ARC 700 is packing a Sony Starvis sensor and dual HDR. While the Torvo does a good job at night under streetlights, the ARC 700's super night vision reduces noise and improves brightness on truly dark roads. Even at the back of the car, the gap is noticeable. While the Torvo gives us a solid 1080p Full HD rear view, the ARC 700 steps it up to a 2K rear camera. If you're driving into a dark tunnel or facing harsh glare, the Thinkware's ability to combine multiple exposures through its dual HDR system keeps license plates readable in conditions where the Torvo starts to struggle. You can see their footage side by side here for a better understanding. Parking mode is something we always look for, and the Torvo TD3's motion detection works from both the front and rear, which is a nice touch for a budget unit. It's a stealthy process that doesn't flash any lights, and as long as the sensitivity is dialed in, it reliably catches bumps. But when we look at the ARC 700, we see a more professional approach to security. The ARC 700 features a time-lapse mode that records at 2 frames per second, allowing us to capture hours of continuous footage without eating up the SD card. While the Torvo triggers a clip when it sees movement, the Thinkware captures a 20-second clip that includes 10 seconds before the event. That pre-buffered recording is a massive advantage. With the Torvo, you might only catch the person walking away, but with the Thinkware, you see the whole story. For an everyday user like a student or an office worker, that extra bit of context can be the difference between a successful insurance claim and a denied one. In our opinion, the Torvo TD3 remains one of the best value 4K dashcams we've tested. If you're looking for sharp daytime footage and a reliable heat-resistant unit under $100, it's an easy recommendation. It doesn't have the fancy Sony sensor, but for $99 with a 64GB card included, the value is undeniable. However, the Thinkware ARC 700 is the clear choice for someone who wants more than just standard protection. You're paying for the Sony Starvis sensor, the 2K rear camera, and the smart parking features that actually protect your battery and capture the seconds before an impact. It's a more refined, reliable package that covers the basics for both driving and parking without the unnecessary fluff of a $500 flagship. Our final take would be, if you're on a strict budget and just want a witness for your daily commute, the Torvo TD3 gets it done. But if you want a system that stays alive longer in parking mode and handles difficult night lighting with professional-grade sensors, the Thinkware ARC 700 is a smart and practical investment that definitely earns its spot on the windshield. So that's the breakdown. One is a value powerhouse, and the other is a refined security tool. We'll leave the links to both in the description so you can check the latest pricing for yourself. Let us know in the comments below. If you found this side-by-side comparison helpful, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive. Thanks for watching, hope you're all doing well, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace!